Greetings, disc golfers. KWK here with another disc golf video for you, and today we are at Pulaski Park in Hammond, Indiana. Today it's an 18-hole course. This is a hidden gem park for around this area. It hasn't gotten very good just because of the fact that unfortunately the trees have been dying and they've been cutting more down, but in its heyday, with all the trees in place and the good baskets and now these nice concrete pads, unfortunately no signs, it's been a lot more to enjoy. So let's try out hole one, which we have to know even without a sign, but I've played enough to know this is hole one. Let's see how it turns out. We'll be throwing a katana and it's just a straight ahead shot. And even though it bounced off the old rails there, it still isn't too bad. Let's take a look. Here back on hole one, bounced off the railing here from the pool fence, and it's a good thing that I used a good old Star plastic because that would put a serious dent in a DX plastic. So I'd recommend on this first hole, just in case, try to have a stronger plastic if you hit the railing. So we landed right here, which is a challenging putt for me, and we're gonna see if we can make it. Ooh, that wind just picked it up for me. Well, there's another fun putt for me. Hopefully I can at least get par. This is the first time I've played this park this season and still trying to shake the rust off. But as you can see from a quick look, there's a lot of new planted trees out there. Unfortunately, a lot have been chopped down. Wow, this park looks completely different from last season. All right. We got par at least. Good deal, guys. Off to hole two. All right, here we are at hole two. From what I see written on the post, it says 277 feet. And personally, this one, I like to throw my Star Destroyer. The reason I throw the Destroyer is because it's got a strong left hook, so I actually aim for over there, that orange goal, and then it usually hooks over close to the basket for me. Let's see if I can make that happen. Of course, the wind picks up when I need to throw. And dive bomb on in. That looks puttable. I'll take it. Not bad. Yeah, unfortunately, this park is not what it used to be, it looks like, because some type of beetle or insect killed a lot of the trees of this park, and it seems to be more of an open play park. But in the previous years, this park had a lot of trees to make it a lot more challenging and interesting. Didn't really affect these first two holes yet, but I think we're going to see the effects of it once we start playing in the higher hole numbers. But here on hole two, we're getting closer to our next throw. And once again, this is putting distance. Back here at hole two, some good old-fashioned squirrels that are always good company out here. Definitely, if you like to play with your dogs and bring a dog to the park with you, I don't recommend Pulaski just because my dog personally is a big squirrel fan and he goes crazy for all these squirrels out here. But the squirrels are nice. They're definitely friendly to the disc golfers. No problems there. And let's see if we can master this putt. Oh man, I threw high on that one. Whew. I just made a harder putt for myself on that. Definitely need to shake the rust off my putting. But let's hope I can at least still get par here. I'm blaming the squirrels on that part. Too distracting. Okay, this is still definitely a challenging putt for me. Putting is something I need to really start practicing harder on for this season because I am super rusty. Whew. All right, got par, skin of my teeth. Trick is, don't think about the squirrels. On hole 3. Alright guys, we're here at hole 3. This one actually has a sign. That's really my only gripe about this park right now, since they finally installed these beautiful concrete tees before they weren't here for a long time. They had the signs, but unfortunately those signs just didn't last. They should have went the metal route in my opinion, but here we are at hole 3, 255 feet and another par 3. It's pretty much a straight shot ahead. Not much to hit other than this tree right in front of you and these other trees to avoid. I'd say for this one I'm going to go with my trusty katana. See if we can get close enough. Well, not my best throw, but still doable. Let's see how it looks. Looks like that's going to be a tough putt, possibly a mid for me. There's also other great offerings at this park. Picnic benches, plenty of areas to eat, plenty of trash cans. Very nice park over there for kids to play. If you have a family, you can drop the kids off at the swings and go disc golfing. There's also tennis courts here, and up in the distance, one of my personal favorites about the park is there's a football field up there, which they're using now. And when it's empty, which usually it is empty, we're on a weekend today, so if you go during the week, usually that's empty, and it's a great place to test your distance throws of different discs. Whenever I get a new disc, I like to test and see how far it throws. That's a great open area to test out in. But we finally trailed all the way up here. This is where the katana fell, and this is going to be an extremely challenging putt for me, but let's think positive, guys. Oh yeah, there you go, birdie. That was an awesome putt for me. I'm very happy with that putt. That's a putt that I would brag about. So I'd say that was at least 20 feet, if not a little bit more, which is an excellent putt for me. So got a birdie on this one, guys. Looking good, looking good. Here we are at hole 4, guys, and dropping a disc. Right here I'll be using the Destroyer, Star Destroyer again. And the reason I go with this one is because I like the strong left hook I get with it. And the basket, as you can see, is directly behind that large tree. I got some activity, some other disc golfers out, other obstacles. I noticed they just planted a new tree right directly in front of me, so that's going to add to the challenge of this one. See how we do. Hopefully that hooks. Well, we clipped the tree a bit. I think that's a little far from the basket, and not as good as I would have liked it to be, but that's what makes us better, guys. We're going to work from where it landed and see if we can at least get par. It's always my goal is par. I'll take a birdie just like the last hole any day of the week, but I never scoff at par, especially when you're a recreational level player as myself. These gentlemen are having typical disc golf luck, I can see. Even with a lot of trees missing, there's always a way to disc to find a tree. Yeah, this is another long putt, it looks like. But it's a nice little hidden nook in Hammond here. It's got a lot to offer for disc golf. Good practice. And we end up right here. Another challenging putt. Can we do it, guys? Right there though. Right there. Right there. So close yet so far with that one. Hole 4. Knocked out. Par. At least we're keeping up with par. On to the next hole. Alright guys, we're here at hole 5, and hole 5 has dramatically changed. I have to say, definitely dramatically changed. There used to be a lot of trees all surrounding the goal right there, and they're all gone. They planted all these new trees here, and it seems like it's significantly easier. But regardless, let's try to get it for the distance. Got Destroyer again. Let's see how close we can get, guys. Whoa! Not very close at all. The irony is, I used to do very well on this hole when there was plenty of trees, but with this one little tree in my way, that's the one that I nailed. So, typical disc golf. I'm not gonna cry and whine and scream mulligan. Just gonna play my throw. It's the only way you get better. No redos. Just gotta earn that par. That's what I say. Well, luckily this tree right in front of my disc hasn't fully grown yet. I think I can clear throwing above this one. Now here's an interesting part. This is what I always struggle with in this sport. When you're at this distance, do you throw a putter or do you throw a mid? What do you guys usually do in this situation? This looks like it's almost 100 feet away, close. But would you throw a putter or a mid? I'm going to try, at least in this situation, a putter, but I'm going to throw it like a hard putt I'd call. Let's see if I can get it. Because I don't want to overthrow. I prefer underthrows over overthrows. And see, even with the putter, it seems like I overthrew a good amount, and that's still going to be a challenging putt. So you always got to keep in mind, or at least I keep in mind when playing this sport, is so many people are just honing in thinking about, I got to get that ace, I got to get it in the basket, whereas my whole mindset is, I want to give myself an easy putt. And right there, I threw a putt. And I went way past, so I'm glad I didn't throw a mid. I strong-armed it too much. And I set myself up for a difficult putt. Which is good and bad. It's good because it gives me good practice on putting, which I really need. And it's bad because I'm not feeling confident making it. So let's see how we do, guys. Oh, man, and the famous roll right there. Well, that hard-earned birdie I had earlier is now getting nullified by this bogey right here. But that's just how the cookie crumbles. And you know what? Funny thing is, look at the course. All these trees were removed and still it was not an easy challenge. On to the next hole. Alright guys, we're at hole 6 now. Surprisingly we have a sign. And you can see what the old tee pads looked like. Yeah. Now you can see why I was so excited when they put in concrete ones. World of difference than these rubber ones that have been eaten away by the elements. But anyway, back to hole 6, 302 feet. Now this hole got devastated by all the tree removal. Look at this. All these spots that you see ground up were all trees. This was a very challenging hole, distance-wise and just with the obstacles. But now it is just a light post, it looks like, and a telephone post or light post. That's about all that's in our way. But regardless, it's a long one for me. I can't really achieve 300 feet, but the closest I can get is when I use my Tony Danza, aka Boss Disc. So I'm going to try my Blizzard Champion Boss Disc as hard as I can throw and pray for the best. At least I don't have to worry about obstacles this time. And I threw that a little bit too high. Hopefully it fades left a lot. The accuracy isn't what I'd like it to be, but I think I got some decent distance on that one. So let's go take a look. Man, this is definitely going to hurt this park score on DG Course Review. This poor park I was really rooting for and felt it had some pretty good things to offer considering everything else around it. There's not many disc golf options around here that are like 30 minutes or longer to drive to. And now with all these trees removed, it's going to be really hard to sell this park. Fun fact about me, this is actually the very first disc golf park I ever played at, so I have a little bit of a nostalgia for it. And even though it got decimated with all these trees, it's going to be interesting to watch this video 10 years later in hopes that all the trees they planted grew up to bring the course back to the glory it used to have. But I see a lot of trees removed from last year. A lot of trees removed. And there you go, I got about the distance that I was shooting for. It's funny how it looks worse than it really is till you get there. This is still a good putt for me, and I gotta concentrate. Well, not gonna complain because why? Because that is a very easy par to make, at least. Just try to set yourself up for easy par. Don't get too bent out of shape. And right there is hole 6, guys. We got par. Now we're here at hole 7 with surprisingly a sign on the post. Par 3, 238 feet. This hole got devastated also. A few of the trees remained right here, but as you can see, all that mulch up there, there were a lot of trees actually surrounding the basket that made it pretty tricky. This is definitely easier than it used to be, but it's still not an easy shot, I'd say, because you'd be surprised. These trees look like they're far away from the goal, but doesn't mean you can't hit them. So this time I'll throw my katana and hope for the best. And it's a good thing I threw that katana, because that cracked that tree pretty good. The recovery. I need to stop mentioning that a hole looks easier because they removed so many trees, because the few trees that are remaining I just seem to hone in on and hit. But what do we say, guys? We say it's just gonna make us better. You play that bad drive. Now here's another popular spot again, mid or putter. I think this time I'm going to try mid, because I threw a putter hard and I actually overthrew last time. This feels about the same distance. I think I'm going to throw this mid lightly in hopes of getting it close to the basket. There we go. And in that situation, the mid worked better for me. That looks like it is nice and puttable, so we can still get par. Wow, look at all this. This was all trees surrounding this. All long gone. But right here, a nice friendly putting distance. And that is the goal here. Get yourself set up for a nice putting distance and just nail it. And there's hole 7, guys. All wrapped up. Alright, we're at hole 8, guys. How do I know we're at hole 8? Only because I am familiar with this park and I've played it for the past few years. So unfortunately, if you're new to this course, you definitely got to do your homework online and figure out where the holes lie, because there's not even a post here on 8 and I couldn't tell you why. But at least there's pads to look for. But hole 8 has been significantly hurt also. They put some new little trees to try to help it along, but it's pretty much a long bomb. It's straight ahead, and I'd say it's at least 300 feet, if not a little bit longer. So when we got long, we go for our blizzard driver, because I always notice these blizzard discs just give me a little bit more distance. And it's a little high. Where's my fade? I think I got it for the distance there. It's not as close to the basket as I'd like, but still not too bad. Let's go get a closer look, see how things are rolling for us. Yeah, once again, as we progress there, you can see all the trees that used to be around that are just piles of mulch now. Such a shame. I don't know where the squirrels are all going to move to. But for the most part, this is a pretty quiet part of Hammond I've experienced. No problems, no trouble much. It's always been pretty docile of a park. Because as you can see, we're out here on a nice weekend day. And it's not exactly being stormed with people right now. It's more of where the playground area is where the popular aspects are. So for the disc golfers, that just helps us to have a nice, quieter park experience. And you know what? I'd say distance, I'll take it. Accuracy, not so much, but distance I'll take. Let's see here. This is definitely a challenging putt, like usual for me. Let's cross our fingers. Oh, everybody likes to show off with their exhaust to distract me. All right. Well, at least I set myself up for a nice easy par. Not gonna complain. It's gonna be interesting when this tree actually grows, if it makes it. And that tree there. So right there, we got par on hole 8, guys. All right, we're here at hole 9, 265 feet, par 3. And I'm seeing the ongoing theme that just is all these later holes on this course have been decimated, it looks like. Hole 9 had a lot more going on for it in the past. And now it just seems like a straight shot for the most part. But you never know. With the way I've been throwing today, it might find something to hit on its way there. So I'm going to be going for a long haul and see if I can get that distance at least. It's not exactly where I wanted to be hyzering, but we got it down there. Let's see what it looks like when we get up there. But no, unfortunately, this hole is rough. I mean, looks like they planted whatever that is right there really quick. That's all they really had. I think they ran out of trees to plant because this park got so decimated. I mean, you can only imagine if you can find older pictures online. Right there had been tree here. A ginormous tree was right here. It was one heck of an obstacle for this right here. And more were all around here. All these piles were trees. Wow. Now, I don't know if that counts as out of bounds or not, but we're doing recreational play today, so I'm not counting that as OB. We're going to play it. Once again, the distance wasn't bad, but you know what? As much as people say distance, I've found out over the years, accuracy is so much more helpful than distance. I'd rather have a really accurate, shorter shot than a long shot that is way off base. Now this one, I feel a hard putt is intended because this is at least 40 feet. These are the putts that the pros make. Or I make. Wow, that is an awesome putt. I'm glad this is on video because nobody believed me that I made this distance. Let's look here, guys. That is an awesome birdie right there on 9. Well, that is an awesome way to go for this hole. That is pretty exciting for me, especially since I'm still trying to get the rust out of my system. I think it's starting to shake off, guys. We did pretty good. Birdie on 9. That is an awesome shot. On to 10. Alright, guys, we're at hole 10 and 236 feet, par 3. As you can see on that old photo there, it shows there is a whole bunch of trees. No more. This is starting to get a little depressing for me, guys. This is just like, might as well be an open field course for a lot of these holes now, unfortunately. just straight ahead, and I guess my only obstacle is that large branch and a light post. So I'm going to try katana this time because I want more accuracy. This Boss, even though I did that awesome putt, which I'm still stoked about, I'd like to try to get closer to the basket. I'm not lucky to be putting like that all day. And give me my accuracy, katana. You got it, right? Oh, that's a beautiful bounce. Oh, I'm loving that. That's not a birdie. I don't know what it is. I can see that right by the post. It makes me wonder because maybe it's the mentality of, oh, all these trees are around me, that kind of burdens your throw. Because some of these shots I wouldn't be making normally with all these trees. But I will say for this one, I have done this shot like this before when the trees were here, believe it or not. And it's always been the katana that's been really good to me on this hole. As long as I try to just throw it as straight as I can at the basket, it's always had a real good bounce to it. And sometimes it would bounce and land like it did here, and sometimes it would bounce and hit the tree that was right here. And when I hit the tree right here, it was still a good puttable range that normally I could get a birdie, but worst case scenario would be par. So right here, don't even need a putter, just right on in. We got ourselves another birdie, guys. That's some good stuff today. Good stuff. On to hole 11. Alright guys, we're here at hole 11. 190 feet. That's a pretty short distance. I'm going to try the katana again, and I'm going to try to drive it lightly, if that makes any sense, because if I don't want to overthrow this too much. So right here, once again, there were a lot more trees where all those areas you can see where there was a tree dead in front of you, which was the real challenge of it. Usually you would have to hyzer it to get around, but this time we got a straight shot, so let's take advantage of it and see how we do. And try to throw it too late, but that is going to be a challenging putt for me. But I got to add challenge to this hole somehow. I really hate to say it, but from the way this park is looking right now, it seems like after the first about 9 holes, and that's me being generous, it's just like an open field game, and that isn't too exciting for anybody to go out to. I mean, surprisingly, this park still isn't the worst I've played now with all these horrible things that have happened to it. There are other parks I've been to that are 9 holes that have absolutely no obstacles whatsoever, that were just planted in a field. And this one has some trees left, so it's got that going for it. Now right here is a good question if it's out of bounds or not. Once again, like I said, I'm playing rec today, so I'm calling the shot of it's in bounds. And this is going to be a challenging putt. Feels like the basket's a little lower for some reason. And let's see how we do. Oh, I love that. And that roll right there. There's my favorite part right there. The roll to make it even more difficult. Everybody hates that noise when you just hit the basket and it does that. So now we are going to struggle for par, guys. Oh, man. Now that is hole 11, but it says 12 on it. Right there we got par. And alright, just for the record, guys, this hole 12, it says is hole 11. It's just mismarked for some reason. I don't know who keeps marking these incorrectly out there or what, but it is hole 11 because hole 12 is up there where those 2 trees are. So on to hole 12, and this was hole 11. Alright guys, we're at our hole 12. Hopefully it's properly labeled. It might not be. Never know what the way this park's going lately today, unfortunately. It is 220 feet, par 3, and this beginning right here is all the challenge that's left. I used to call this one thread the needle because you got to get it right in between this narrow pathway between the trees. And once again, all the other trees look like they've been removed, so it's pretty much a straight shot once you can thread through. So trusty katana, see what we can do. I will say, that's what I like about that katana. It's got a bounce that seems to add some distance to it. And hopefully that's within a putting range once we get up there. But no, once again, we got spots that would have had a tree there, and you would have had a lot of trees right here surrounding the basket. That really made it tricky. This hole was always an extreme for me. I'd either get a birdie or a bogey. I was either play it really well or not well at all. Don't remember ever getting just par on this one. It was always birdie or bogey for me. See, now this one's still labeled correctly. It says 12. So, at least this one's, but 11 was mislabeled and I couldn't tell you guys why. This is some good putting range. Let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. Didn't throw that one with enough oomph. That one lacked confidence. But here I go, breaking my record here. Looks like I could at least get an easy par, which goes to show you how significantly a hole can change with all these trees being removed, unfortunately. So, got par on 12, on our way to 13, guys. Alright guys, we're at hole 13, par 3, 248 feet. And this hole was just completely destroyed. It's like an open field shot, and it's all about the distance. It says 248 feet, but that looks longer than that to me. But see how we do. Give me a fade. Not much of a fade. I think we got the distance on that one. Let's see how close we get. Football field is actively in use on the weekend, so if you're looking for practicing your long distance shots, I wouldn't recommend the weekend out here. But during the week, after work or something, it's a great place to test, see your driving distance, and just throw out into the field. Now, where did that disc end up going? Wow, that's some distance. It is such a shame all these rubble piles were trees. I don't know, it's not looking like I got much to come back to anymore, guys. I'm gonna have to find a new home course, because unfortunately, even though I realize, yeah, they planted more trees, it's going to take a long time for those to grow, and these courses, I don't even see any trees planted, so nothing's working out that well. But right here, let's see if we can throw a magical putt and make a birdie. Not with that kind of a throw. All right, now we're striving for par. Striving for par. At least we got par. I would hope I'd get par. I'd almost be pretty embarrassed to not at least get par on a course that has no obstacles for this hole. On the 14, hopefully there is a tree to be an obstacle on. Alright guys, we're at hole 14, which apparently has been completely relocated. I don't recall it being here. I recall it being in a different spot, so it looks like they just kind of planted it in a completely different spot, and it's straight ahead with absolutely no trees or obstacles. So that's what I get for saying hopefully there's a tree, because there isn't even one. It's just a long distance shot, straight forward, right in the middle. 13's to the left, so you actually have to backtrack to this hole. And tell you the truth, that's a pet peeve of mine on a course. I like when it flows. I really hate it when you got to backtrack for another hole. So alright, so let's just, hey, let's throw this as hard as we can and pray. It's not like it's going to hit anything. And dive bomb a bit and roll. Actually, that looks pretty good. Well, now I have a great idea of how disc golf would feel with absolutely no obstacles, and it is not very fun at all. they really ripped the fun out of this course with all this tree removal, and after this video it's going to take me a very long time to ever come back, I think, from what I'm seeing. Now I see, keep your hopes up, in the last few holes we got, those trees are all still in place, so those should actually still be doable. So to salvage this course, maybe use this video as a reference and make some notes, and possibly you could get maybe 9 or 10 good holes still out of this course. But I'm sorry, like these holes here, 13 and 14, unless you're just like throwing at nothing, I just skip them. It's really not fun at all. But I will say I got the distance here, which is good. Another challenging putt. Let's cross our fingers here, guys. See how we do. Alright. Oh, well, didn't roll far at least. So even with no obstacles, what am I doing? Still throwing par. Right. Well, it's hole 14 on that one. And everybody else thinks I'm crazy because I'm talking to myself, but all you viewers know who I'm talking to. On to hole 15. Alright, we're at hole 15, only because of my past knowledge of the course, because this one's missing a post also. This one used to have more trees, but some of them still remain, so we have a challenge. It is a long bomb, all straight ahead. That's going to be tough just distance-wise for me. And that's not the way I wanted to hyzer. I bent my wrist way too much. That would probably be out of bounds, but you know, at the rate today's going, I don't think we're going to worry about that so much. Let's just see where it landed and hope it isn't that bad. All the way out. Yeah, that's very disappointing how this is all turning out. Used to be such a nicer course. I hope they update this on the DG course review site so people know not to be trekking all the way out here for this. I'm almost all the way back at hole 13 to make this shot. It's got some distance there. Now this one I can safely say I need to throw a mid, because at my skill level I'm not cooking a putter that far. So the mid, I usually do the KC Pro Rock. Let's hope for the best. And keep coasting. I think that's putting distance for us, guys. We could get par with that. The rock never disappoints. That's looking promising at least. That looks like hole 16 is right next to 15, so at least we got the flow coming back. But yeah, 15's another one. Sorry, I'd put it on the skip list. It's not many obstacles or anything. That's if you're feeling ambitious enough to even try this, but yeah, this course has been devastated so far. And our putt earned that par. There you go, guys. Got ourselves par on 15. Alright, guys, we're at hole 16. Surprisingly, it has a post and a sign, 283 feet. And this one survived all right so far from what I can see. This is definitely still a good challenge. And it's a forehand throw. And forehand throws are a good challenge for me because I need it to hook to the right. You're trying to go straight there, and a straight shot just never works that well because you got this tree here. So I forehand throw and hope for the best. And I forehand throwed right in that tree. Pretty good. Let's see where we end up once we get up there. second shot on hole 16, and it's going to be a long putt, real long putt. And right there, at least we got potential par. That's what we shoot for. But there are still a few trees that are missing. There was in these piles here. And like I said, this one is just an okay hole. It was better. But at the rate we've been going today, this is still one of the better holes on this course. But right there, got ourselves some par on hole 16 on the 17. Hole 17, once again, missing a sign and a post, but it's just how it's been rolling a lot today. Our goal is straight ahead at the basket, and most of the obstacles are still in place here. This one is a lot harder than it looks. We'll be throwing our katana. I'm going to go for the straightest approach I can make. And there's nothing straight about that throw. Well, let's see what the damage is. Trek on up there. Man, 17 has just been devastated. Not as bad as the other ones though. Because right in front of 17 there was that big tree there, and right next to the basket another big tree. And actually I had a lot of luck with the tree next to the basket. I would actually hit it, it had a lot of branches on it, and the disc would somehow bounce and it actually fall in the basket. It has for me in the past a couple times, so it's very disappointing. That tree's gone. It's not there to help me anymore. So right now we're at 17, which just seems like an open shot, but that is a long distance shot. Once again, like I like to say, this is a putt for the pros. A putt for the pros. Oh, I thought I was going to make it again. Seemed like the catchy thing to say. Putt for the pros. So close yet so far. Need some highlights today because these holes aren't doing well for me. But right there, guys. Par on 17. Hole 18. No post or sign, of course, but at least we have concrete pad. And this one seemed to survive pretty well because we just lost that tree right there, which didn't make a big impact on this. And in honor of this course pretty much being destroyed, I'm going to throw a, not that, a destroyer, because I'm going to try to hook around all this mess. And if you've lasted this long with me in this video, I commend you, because it's not that exciting, unfortunately, due to what happened to this course. But let's see how we turn out here. And give me my lucky bounce. Roll. Well, guys, this is wrapping it up. Entrance to the parking lot is over here. You got the overall course, wraps around, starts by the pool, then you end up at there, hole 18. And that's pretty much all we got to offer. So if you guys got comments or know of any other courses that have been affected in a devastating manner like this one, please let me know, and I'll talk to you guys next time.